Good evening, it's Vikram Serene. It's 6th of March, and we're going to continue with the AxiomProtect dashboard. So we are looking at the settings part now, as well as the users, what all the multi-factor authentication platform can enable. So today what we're going to cover is we are going to look into the multi-factor authentication management part. So that means it starts with username and password, which is your first factor. Then is your second factor, which is one-time password tokens, which is auth time-based one-time password tokens, which could be generated via out-of-band tokens or hardware tokens or software tokens. And then we're going to go into the secure phrase, which is basically the dynamic image for the user. And then you can have the sweet spot, so meaning that a particular spot on that image which is only known by the user. So it eliminates the so-called man-in-the-middle relay attack. And then we'll go into the digital certificate and tokens. Now over here we'll have the certificate issuance part and also the tokens, which are basically mobile tokens, software or hardware. And then we have the challenge response, which is basically the question and answers. So it could be something like, what's your favorite color, what was your first car number plate, what's your date of birth, and so a few attributes which only user knows, and then based on that we can validate the user. This is quite useful in terms of resetting the password or sending ePIN or or kind of upgrading the user from a lower security to a higher grade of security, where Q&A can be used for that transition. Then the next one is trusted device. This is basically for the geo fencing or geolocation based authentication. So meaning that over there you can restrict the user whether they're going to come from country, state or city or a particular pin code, and then use that information in terms of safeguarding where they're accessing or where you want them to allow to access or not access your web or mobile resources. So it goes very well in conjunction with what we call it as trusted device. That means you're coming from the trusted device, and then also the geolocation that is coming in. And then last one is two-way authentication, which is essentially push-based authentication or a missed call, where we are essentially using two channels. So one will be your mainstream internet web-based channel, and the second one will be your device where the user actually takes the initiative of making a call or sending an SMS, or the mobile app itself gets a native push, or you get a web push, and then based on that you do the authentication. So all the above actually combines to facilitate multi-factor authentication. So let's get started with the first one, which is the username and password. So in the username and password, okay, I'm already logging into the dashboard, and over here you go to security and user management. So I come over here. Over here in the drop down I can see all the different options that are available. In this demo we are not going to cover the biometrics authentication and the external system reports, but in the future we'll be talking more about it, because there's already a lot to digest over here. So we'll focus on the top 8. So as simple as this, let me look at this particular user, Yogesh. Again, it's search based on the ID or the email. So let me try to put a simple user, empty test. Now over there I'm coming in. Now very quickly, this is the user ID. Now this is the user ID which is given by the system or through the web service call, then the phone number and the email ID, and then what's the status. So from here you can actually make the status active as suspended. If it's suspended, then the user is cannot authenticate or cannot log in. And then you can go to the edit information and change the details if needed. And then also if you want to remove the user, you can. You can only remove the user if all the credentials have been removed from the system. When I say credentials, meaning that the token and all these other things are unassigned or removed or disconnected from the user, then only you can remove it. So same, and then next is you can assign the group. So if you want to move the users into the user group. Now user group is basically the segregation or grouping of users based on certain traits. So which could be based on geolocation or based on the different kind of offices they are based in, and that can kind of give you certain kind of empower you, enable you to in terms of how you want to segregate and what you wish to give to them. Next is the details in terms of what are the additional details, let's say country, city, destination and all. Now this essentially is used or this information is used when you generate the certificate, digital certificate. So you can come over here and use that information. And next is the password. The password essentially is the first factor. Now one of the first thing is unlock password. Unlock password is as the name suggests, that if the user is attempting the passwords many times wrongly, and let's say in this attempts you see 0 right now, so let's say it's the attempts for 5 or 7, then the token or then the password will be locked. User cannot log in, and then you can unlock from here. Then you have the option of resending the existing password on the mobile, or you are able to send the password, or set a random password and then set a random password and send it to the user onto their registered mobile device. Yeah, and then you can also come over here and you can also pull out the particular the audit trail of the user. Yeah, so over here it's just being created. That's the only audit trail that's come in. And now so that was a very quick overview of the user part. Now I'm going to the token part, which is the one-time password tokens. So I'm coming over here. I can pick up the user. Again, the user ID has to it's the unique identifier of the system. And then I can sorry, my bad, I should have gone to the one-time password. Yeah, okay, so over here if you see, this particular user has active out-of-band token. So when we say out-of-band, meaning that you can have SMS, email, voice and USSD. So these are the 4 types of out-of-band tokens, which are clientless tokens. Email is quite popular in the enterprise deployment because of the simplicity of its use, and also a lot of people are checking their email on their phone, so it's a very, very easy way of enabling it, and obviously it's zero cost. SMS has been more popular with the corporate and retail banking, where the regulators have enforced that it should be delivered on a mobile. Again, there is a decline in out-of-band tokens for the simple reason that it relies on the third-party network, and sometimes it can be up or down. So what is I would say more relevant in today's deployment is a software token, which is on your mobile, iOS or Android and devices like that. And other one is hardware token. Only disadvantage of hardware token is that you have to carry that extra device. And the second kind of drawback of hardware token is that it goes out of sync. So that also creates a problem. But again, said that, it's still a very popular token for user education and user this thing. Now coming back to the out-of-band token, so you can change the assignment. You can change the, let's say if you assign it, then you can change it, change the type. User doesn't have to do anything. You can just do it from the dashboard via web services or via this dashboard, face dashboard. Again, you can mark it as active, inactive, or active, suspended. Suspended means that it cannot be used. And you can also verify the one-time password token. So let's say if you are running a particular a workflow where you want the operator to validate the one-time password, then you can actually use this dashboard or the web service for the operator to check whether the user is valid or not, and then do that. So one of the examples would be that, let's say if you want to reset somebody's PIN for the ATM and you want them to validate their OTP, or if you're changing the address of the user, then you want them to validate the OTP, not just asking the date of birth and all that, then you can use this as a very good option. And lastly, unassign. As unassign is meaning that you are disconnecting the user from the associated token. Yeah. So in the software, obviously you can assign web and mobile. Then you can send the activation or the registration code. For the software token, you need a registration code for user to ensure that it is the right user that is coming in and registering. So the registration code is a is a 8 or 7 to 10 digit long value, random number, which is time bound, so which could be 5 or 10 minutes bound, and then you can use that. Then we have added a new option, which is what we call it as the Google token support. So we have already covered in another video the whole details of that, so that is also supported by Axiom now. And that again very similar, active inactive or active suspended, and then again same verify OTP and unassigned token. Yeah, very similar. Hardware token. So in hardware token we have the options of assign the token. Now in this case you have to give the token number. That means that so in this system I already have okay, anyway we'll take into this later, but what you can do is you can input your the serial number of the token, and then you can mark it as assigned inactive. The special thing what we have over here, or the feature what you need, are these three, which is resync, replace, and PUK, code generator. So over here when you say resync, let's say sometimes the token misbehaves or goes out of sync with the server. Now what is out of sync is that the time clock of server and the token. So if I have 10,000 or 25,000 tokens which are being deployed, all the clocks can go out of sync with the server, because they are not talking real time. They are working individually like our old Casio watches. So because of the battery, because of circuitry, it can become weak, or it can go ahead in time or back in time. So because of that, the OTP which gets generated becomes invalid. Now due to which your token doesn't work. Obviously user cannot validate the transaction, approve the transaction. So in this workflow, in resync token, the user gives the first token, the OTP generated, and then the next OTP which is generated, and then these two values are taken, or OTPs are taken, and then we can reset the token, or we can resync the token with the server. So this is a good feature which can help you in terms of reusing the tokens and ensuring even if they go out of sync, you can sync them back. Replace token, let's say if the user has kind of lost it, or it's being returned back for some reason, then you can actually do it from here. Then the next one is what we call it as PUK. Now the tokens which are it is showing null because this is a mini token. So if the token was a challenge response token, which is basically a token that is having the pin pad, then the user sometimes inputs the wrong pin on the token. So because of that, the token itself can get locked. The token itself, not the server side, not the account on the server side of the token, but the token itself gets locked. Now due to that, you want to have the ability of resetting it. So the resetting is provided by the PUK code. So that means that you take the PUK code, it can be sent via email or SMS, then the user can input that, unlock the PUK, that means unlock the token, and then reset the pin of the token. So this is again a good feature coming from Axiom. And then the last feature which I would like to mention over is that mark as lost. So sometimes because it's a hardware entity, so it can get lost. Because it can get lost, there's a facility which is given where you can mark it as lost. So if you mark it as lost, the system will treat it in a different way, where it will not be assigned or available to the other users to be assigned. And last is unassigned. Let's say if the user leaves the company, employee leaves the company, and then you want to give it to another person, or you want to refresh it, then you can actually give it back. So let's say some user says, okay, I'm using hardware token, but I want to move into the software token, then they can return back the token. So you will unassign it and keep it with you as a free token, and then give them the software token. Yeah, again in a very similar manner, you can come over here and you can generate the audit trail, and then have a look at it as the operator. So as you would see over here, all these errors are happening, and the success and the consumed and everything which is coming over here for this particular user. Yeah. So we have finished the second part, which is the OTP token. Now let me go to the third part, which is the image part, or the so-called the sweet spot. So let's quickly look into this one. So I'm going for the user, empty user. So again, this user should have image assigned to it. We won't show the image over here because then the operator will come to know from the user point of view. So if you see over here, the image is already being initialized. Can I get the link? Okay, one second. So I think I have a list over here. Okay, let's yeah, okay, let's click over here. It's a bit slow. Okay, then yeah. So I'm going to the demo portal which comes with Axiom, and over here you will see that this is the user ID I'm inputting now, and I'm coming over here. So what I'll get to see is the dynamic image that gets generated. Now the dynamic image is basically the combination of two things. Firstly, it's the color, and secondly is the text. So it could be my date of birth or my dog's name or anything, and also the color I get to pick up. So if the user was not registered, then the user will be taken to the flow of registering it or creating it. And then if the user is registered, then they will get to see something like this. So I'm clicking over here as my sweet spot. So as you would see, it's something different over here, right? This is changing. Now this will be hidden only for the demo purpose. We have shown it, and then I'm coming over here and then I say login. Yeah, and this should take me in. Now this can be combined with Q&A or anything, and as you would see that, you know, my location, my sweet spot is also being verified, and image is also being validated. Yeah, I'm coming from a different device which is showing me that, and then IP is also made valid. So coming back, so this user has that, and let me quickly show you the download of the of the report for this user. Okay, I think the server ran out of memory. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I'll continue. Yeah, servers. Okay, now let's go to the next one, which is the which is the digital certificate and token. Now I'm coming in 5 or 6. Yeah. Okay, so going to the certificate part. Now certificates gets generated from two sources. One could be your in-house free certificate, and the other one could be your certificate from a commercial CA, so which could be Global Sign, or we have done the integration with few certificate authorities in ASEAN, so you can use them. Or if you have any specific CA engine we would like to talk to and get the certificate from there, then Axiom can be used, or can be configured with that also using the plug and play interface. Yeah. Now coming over here, as you would see that this particular user has active PKI token, and also they don't have any hardware token. And then you can come over here. First thing first, you can look at the certificate which is being given. So as you would see over here, all the details, when it was issued, when it's expiring, and all the information is provided here. And then this upload documents is more for the KYC part. So let's say if you have a particular workflow where you want the Axiom to become your user certificate KYC module also, then you can use that, and where you can upload the documents into the system via this particular dashboard, and then based on that you can actually issue the certificate. So now there are two things. One is that let me do one thing. I can share the certificate via email, or I can renew. Let's say if it's expiring, I can renew from the dashboard, or I can revoke it. Yeah. So let me say, okay, okay, I think let's do it for the other user. Yeah. Okay, let's say I want to revoke it for test demo only. Yeah, and I say submit. Yeah, are you sure? Yes, it's successfully done. Yeah. So where if you come, you will see that the certificate is being removed. Huh? Sorry. Okay, it takes time to do that. Okay, what happens is that it actually talks with the CA engine, and once that CA engine gives us the information back that yes, it's revoked, then only we remove it in our system. So right now that has not happened. That's why it is it takes a bit of time to do that. Yeah, I think it's not pushing it out. Okay, let me just pick up if I have another user with my name who doesn't have the cert, and okay, sadly they also have that. Okay, let's see any other user. I just want to show you the quick one, which is issue certificate, which is so much easy. Yeah, okay, over here. So I just come over here, I get the option of issue certificate. I can come over here and just say issue certificate. So as you see that so quickly the certificate is being generated by the system. And yeah, so here it is. So the certificate just got generated. Yeah. Okay, now so again you can download the audit trail, you can manage the PKI software token. Again, this is linked with a mobile trust module, so you can assign the token, then you can send the registration code, make it active, suspended, unassign, something very similar for the hardware token. What we have done is that in the hardware token we have actually given the option of sending the PFX. PFX is the PKCS 12 format or P12 format, and you can actually import that into your hardware token or into your browser and or your keychain, and then you can use that when it comes to SSL connection or digital signing of your of your PDF files or digital signing of your emails and things like that. So this is very interesting feature because Axiom can actually give you an end-to-end system where you can manage users, manage tokens, manage your certificates, and issue these certificates to your users with a single click, and then they can start using it for multiple security I would say flows, and obviously you can unassign and mark it as lost. And then from the certificate point of view, you can either share it, renew it if it's expiring, and then revoke it, yeah, and also do the KYC part. So that was very quickly covering the digital certificate and token part. Now I'm going to the challenge response. Challenge response is nothing but Q&A, question and answers, yeah. So again, now let's look at the user. Okay, this is my user, which is, I'm going to search if the user has that. Yeah, okay. So over here it's active or suspended, right? And then I have the Q&A. Now one of the things you would see is that attempts. So let's say if the user attempts wrongly, then the count goes up, and then obviously after that it becomes locked. You have the option of unlocking. And then on the other hand is you have the list of questions that are being answered by this particular user. So what is the current joining of your company, your mother's name, all these 5-6 questions are being answered by the user and their status is active. Obviously answer is not shown over here, but that's what user knows, and based on each question there is a correlation of the weightage, and then you can say yes whether it's correct or not, yeah. So again, this was very quick. It's extremely useful, low on security but extremely useful because people do remember that, and then you can use that for upgrading the security or issuing pins and locking, unlocking other tokens. So that still carries a good weightage which AxiomProtect offers to you. Then next I'm going to the trusted device. Now in the trusted device we have the option of the device. That means that is what you use over here in terms of your mobile device or web device. And now if you see over here, Yogesh has actually used that so he has used many devices in his interaction with Axiom. And over here if you see the details, he's using Lenovo, and then in the other one, let's see if he's using, yeah, he's using iPhone, and in another one he's again using Motorola. So you can track the devices in terms of the device IDs. You can use that for making sure that he's allowed or not allowed. So let's say if you come over here and you say suspended, that means it won't work, or if you say altogether you want to remove it, right? Then obviously you can check the audit trails in terms of chronology for last up to 6 months, and then also you can destroy the clients from here. What it means is that you no longer want the association from the device to the user. So let's say user has lost the device, so you want to destroy it, or let's user says I'm no more going to use this service, so I can destroy it. So there can be multiple reasons for doing it. And okay, so I think I just want to quickly go through it because the demo is getting too long. And now I'm going to the next one, which is geolocation. Now geolocation, again, in the same line, it's very similar to obviously what we have seen earlier also. Again, the country that you're roaming in, if you're set with the if the country which belongs to you by default, and then over here you can enable roaming. Now what it means is it's very similar to your credit card. So when, say, if you want to use a credit card physically, internationally, overseas, then you actually tell your bank or you tell your enterprise that yes, I'm going to use it. So you come over here, you say enable. So you can actually choose what level you want country level or state level. Then you come over here, you can pick up which country you want to go for. So let's say in my case I'm planning to go to Singapore. Then I can come over here and say okay, Singapore, and then I say okay, I'm gonna start going from the 10th, and then I'm gonna go till 25th, and then I say save. So what it means is that this particular user is going to be allowed to be in Singapore from so and so duration to do the transactions or to allow them to log in. So that actually gives you a very, very good flexibility in terms of how you want to cover it. So I'll just come over here, search Singapore, and then do this. So let's say in last 3 months, if there is any reports. Okay, so right now this user has not moved around much. It's mostly in India. As you would see that these are all the details that are coming in from where they have actually logged in, so many registration that has been done. And then if you see over here, you can actually see the particular map of where the person has come in. So that was very quickly showing you the geolocation part, and now the last one I'm covering is the two-way authentication. Two-way authentication essentially is the option, as I mentioned to you earlier, that what do you want? Basically, you want the SMS based or voice based or missed call based, or you want a push. Push works with the mobile token. That means the mobile token has the ability of receiving pushes and replying back to them. So for that, you have to send the registration code activated, which comes with the mobile trust SDK or web push or web trust SDK or the mobile token itself. Other options could be that way you want to say, okay, I want the missed call. So meaning that let's say a user has to validate a transaction, so he just gives a missed call. Or you say a callback is there. That means that the system will call the user, and then you will get a call back from the system. And the user will pick up the phone, and then we can actually do a Q&A or a PIN-based authentication, and then based on that we can validate the transaction. And last one being the SMS, where the system sends the SMS to the user. The user replies back to the SMS saying yes, I want to do the transaction, or no, I don't want to do the transaction. The whole intention of two-way dual channel authentication is to make sure that there is no Trojan or a man in the middle or anything like that that can compromise your security and execute false transactions or fake transactions, even though you have given one-time password token to the users, or you have given them a Q&A and the certificate is right and everything is good, but there are still certain scenarios where the transaction can get compromised by a DNS poisoning, or by man in the middle attack, or by a script in the middle attack, or by what we call it as rogue Wi-Fi's. So there are few ways where the system can get compromised even if you have a certain decent level of security. So to counter that, the two-way authentication is one of the, I would say, the premium or high grade security. Obviously you have options over there via missed call, as SMS, as voice call, or you can have as a push notification. So you have options to choose from. I think we will try to conclude this particular part over here. So what I want to summarize is that you have 8 different types of authentication that you can enable via Axiom, and within those 8 you have wide variety of tokens, hardware, software, SMS, missed call, push notification, all these kind of geofencing, device profiling, all these kind of facilities which are available. And then you can mix and match them. So let's say if you want to use geofencing with device profiling and OTP or signature one-time password, you can use that. And come up with various combinations. So that's what we have been kind of preaching, that if you want to combine them, and you can actually come up with a very strong multi-factor authentication, which is absolute security. It's not risk-based, it's confirmative. There are no false positives, there are no maybes, and it is surely the best grade security that you can offer to your customers, to your applications, and ensure that there are no fraudulent transactions or any kind of compromise that can come in. With that, I would like to thank you so much with my colleague Yogesh. If anything, please drop us an email at vikram@moolatech.com. Yeah, thank you so much.